Welcome to the channel. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Now, is this watch the best value for money dive watch available on AliExpress? I actually think it is. Now, a way for you guys to know that I'm not actually gassing or just making things up as I go along is because I actually don't like this style of watch. Yet, I've got to be objective as a watch reviewer, and I'm going to tell you why I think it's probably the best value for money watch out there, with the specifications that you have available with this S434. Now, this is, of course, a brand new release from Seestern. It is homaging the Glass Shooter SeaQ, and they've done another really great job. And as I said about Seestern, when they came out with the Doxa homages, they are very good at executing really well done homages. Of course, they get no points for originality or design, but they do a fantastic job. And just looking at some pictures of the Glass Shooter, you'll see how so many smaller details match. Like, for example, you've got the oversized minute hand, that extra long seconds hand with that needle tip there, and just some other features that you see. And not only that, what Seestern have put on there from themselves, they've spec'd it right up with the latest upgrades, unlike some other watch brands on AliExpress where they hold back some things. So let's cover the specifications on this S434. Now, this watch comes with a stainless steel construction, a slightly domed sapphire crystal. You've also got a full stainless steel bracelet, 200 meters of water resistance. You've got a see-through case back showing you the SeaQ NH35 screw down crown, case back, 120 click unidirectional bezel with a ceramic insert. You've also got female end links on the bracelet, and this bracelet also comes with the new clasp that they introduced to us with on the fly adjustment on there. But also they've gone with the usual clasp that they use, so like a dive watch clasp, and they haven't used the clasp that they had on the, let's say, Pelagos 39 homage. Now, with regards to the Pelagos 39 homage that they did, the main gripe was the clasp. And I had the same gripe. I would have much preferred if they made this clasp in titanium. But yet they have on this S434 included that. So I think, considering all the specifications you've got here, for £160, if this was, let's say, San Martin, and I like to pick on San Martin because they are, from a lot of people's standards, they are the flagship and they're the best sort of homage brand on AliExpress. They would definitely sell this for over £200, around the £220 mark, with all the specifications that I've mentioned here, and that's without a shadow of a doubt. So Seestern's come in well low, £160. It's cheaper than their like GS homages and a few of the other watches that have also got listed. So that is just incredible based on that. Now, as I said, I don't like this design myself. I don't like the numerals on a dive watch particularly, but yes, it is a skin diver. We saw a lot of skin divers last year, especially. They just came out of everywhere. But what I think they're offering here is incredible. So now let's take you through some of the color options they've got. Seestern usually do give me a couple of examples to show. So I've got the full green one here, and I've also got the black and gilt. You get a total of 3 base colors, which is the green, black and blue, and you get 2 additionals, which are a black and blue and gilt combination. And I like the black and gold, and also like the blue and gold. And the blue and gold gives you like a royal sort of effect. Blue and gold, not everyone thinks it goes together, but it does, depending on the watch, work out really well sometimes. So you get 5 different color options. So dimensions, let's have a quick look at those. 39.5 millimeters at the bezel, and just on the case is around 39 millimeters, so a 0.5 difference with the bezel and case. You've got an overall thickness of 13 millimeters, which is just a touch thick for a skin diver. Lug to lug is super compact, coming in at 46 millimeters, a 20 millimeter lug width, with a taper down to 16 mil, and an overall weight of around 150 grams. So, they've done well in the proportion side of things. Not only is a smaller diameter nice, but the lug to lug has to match. A lot of the other sort of skin divers that you get in this range, they do have very elongated lugs, sometimes sitting at 50 millimeters, something like the Laurier, for example, which I find super annoying for my wrist size. And moving on to the dial construction, you've got a mixture of applied and printed features. Everything is done perfectly. You've got the applied numerals with batons mixed into it. You've got a weird shaped number 6, but that is in line with the watch it is homaging. I mentioned already the oversized minute hand, which does stand out, and the super elongated needle tip on that second hand. The hands are really well done, finely polished. They do have a bit of a chamfer there, which does sort of help catch the light from different angles. You've got a minute track, pretty normal. Print features include the text below the 12 and some text above the 6. The Seestern logo is planted nicely in the center. And yeah, it's a brand that we kind of get used to. I still get the odd person messaging me in the comments saying, you know, Seestern is a toilet or what does it mean? It actually means starfish in German. Now, they have, you know, sadly moved away from the starfish branding. We saw that on a few of the watches with it. I don't think they're fully convinced they want to go the starfish route. So, which is why you'll find on the crown like an S, which is also interchangeable with the sister company SeaQ Guess. But on the case back, you won't find any sort of starfishes. However, you will find that starfish on the clasp. Now, I think surprisingly, a lot of people do enjoy the starfish. Initially, it was a bit, you know, nobody was sure, but yeah, but I've had a few comments from you guys saying that we want to see the starfish again. And the watch is brilliantly made. So with regards to the dial, let's go back and not jump around. We need to check the loom out. It is BGW9. Let's see how good the loom is. Check out that loom shot. You've got a loomed bezel insert, which I actually didn't know the bezel insert was loomed. You've got great application there, no patchiness, everything is applied evenly. The numerals are lit up, the hand set is lit up also, BGW9 throughout. The only thing missing is a loomed date wheel, which is kind of a signature from Seestern. So, you know, they should have included it, added a tenner. I don't think we would have been too fussed about the price on that. So back to the watches, and let's give you guys a better look at the black and gold combination. You know, black and gilt, blue and gilt, it is something particular. It's not to everybody's taste. However, I do like it, and they've got, you know, subtle features that you can see. So with the numerals, you've got that gilt outline on there, which is quite important. I mean, you could have had silver, but they've gone for gold just to make sure it matches. You've got the gold edge on the coin edge bezel, yeah, gilt on the handset, and that gold crown. So it's nice to see, you know, different kind of variants, not just your plain colors. It does make the watches seem a bit special. With regards to the bezel, let's check them out. 120 click unidirectional. I mean, the grip on there, it's coin edge, it's gonna work, it's very decent. But let's check the clicks. Yeah, so the bezel's very accurate. It's got the right amount of tension. I can feel they're using one of those springs as a mechanism. You can definitely feel that in there, but it's very consistent throughout the whole rotation. It is spot on, lines up perfectly as well. And let's do a consistency check. Bang on, yeah, no play in there at all. So yeah, really good bezel, and that's why I think it is probably the best value watch on AliExpress from Seestern, because everything that I've looked at so far is good in terms of how it functions. Moving on to the case, you'll find, you know, these cases I absolutely love, fully brushed, very fine brushing, and then you've got these polished edges along the side, highlighting that profile of the case, and it's a lovely case. As I said, with that skin diver aesthetic, lug to lug is very important for me as much as the diameter, because, you know, there's a lot of brands that do this style of case, but they do have rather elongated lugs. But with Seestern, you can see the lugs go tuck in as well, which gives it a very nice profile. Now let's check out the bracelet, which is, I think, is a very important part of this watch. Now they've got female end links, but instantly when I saw this, it got me thinking about the 62 Mass Homage. That bracelet had an awful male end link. It was just a bit too long, and I'm wondering if they can revisit that 62 Mass, give it a bracelet with these style female end links, and I think that would be perfect. But coming back to the S434, it's a standard bracelet, you know, 3-link. It's been brushed very finely. You've got polished sides, screw links, so quite premium. Obviously, as I said, that diving clasp. Again, the brushing is just absolutely beautiful on there. You've got the polished edge there, twin pushers, and of course the on-the-fly sort of ratchet extension, which is available on this watch. So yeah, that's good to see. I mean, they've got all the features, any upgrades they've made, they've included in the watch. You know, they haven't stinged out on us, which is, again, good to see. And, you know, you got to keep bringing the price back. £160 is ridiculous. If you see where a lot of the watches are going on AliExpress, and, you know, San Martin is the benchmark, and they definitely would put this, as I said earlier, to around 220, 240. That's what I think anyway. Now, is the watch perfect? Is there nothing wrong with it? Not at all. There's a couple of issues which I have noticed as I've had this watch in hand and I've had worn it around a couple of places. For me, let's start on the first thing, and this is a recurring theme. I've mentioned it previously on Seestern. I feel the bracelets are just not long enough. One side's got around 6.5 links, and the other side has about 5.5. I think it could benefit with maybe having 1 or 2 links extra, just to be, you know, a bit more inclusive, cover a lot of the guys with much larger wrists. I mean, I say that, but maybe this is just a bit bigger than the other watches because, you know, I think there are a few more links now, but it could definitely benefit with just a couple more, just one or two. The other thing, which is rather annoying, is the size of the crown. Now, already on the watch, I know it's a skin diver, it does look slightly disproportionate. It's around 5.2 millimeters, which in itself isn't that small, but compared to the case, it's annoying. Now, if I was wearing gloves in this review, I wouldn't be able to unscrew that. I mean, the crown nailing is, you know, nicely done. There's a hell lot of grip on there, and I've mentioned about Seestern before. You know, with the crown and how they kind of manufacture those, and in line with the video I released recently when I took apart the Doxa Homage, the crown threads are perfectly smooth, and I don't see why they couldn't have made the crown just a bit bigger, around the 6 mil mark. I think it would have made all the difference, and that's what I got to say about, you know, these homages. Sometimes they need a human element or a watch enthusiast element in there. It's all good and well, you know, homaging a watch perfectly or building the perfect watch from, you know, like even Glashüte's perspective, but there needs to be an element of somebody using the watch, which it appears is missing on a lot of these brands, where no one actually takes the watch in hand, has it for a week or so, and says, "Do you know what, guys? I find this a little bit annoying, or I find that a little bit annoying." You know, in the testing phase, and I don't see any reason why. Yes, homage, you know, a watch to the best of your ability, but, you know, make a slight improvement. So that, I mean, while it's not a deal breaker at all, I just find them a little bit annoying. I find it on, you know, some other watches where the crown's too small. It's just, you know, why just make it a bit bigger? You need a decent grip on there. Not everyone's got tiny little fingertips, right? Those are the only two issues I have with it so far. With regards to the bracelet, that's, you know, the main component. That's where Seestern was slightly lacking, but they have, you know, I think just sort of sorted it out now. Like I said, there's no real issues there, and they should keep this going forward. Keep bringing us great value for money, and I think they are definitely headed in the right direction. Going back to this green one, I would have liked that bezel to kind of match the dial just a bit more. It's just a slight shade difference. It's just a bit sort of paler, and that's the only sort of observation that I can make on there. Now let's get this on wrist. And yes, suspicions confirmed. The S434 on my 6.5-inch wrist sits perfectly. That lug to lug is awesome. Again, that size is really good as well, just under 40 millimeters. It fits so comfortably. Those female end links make all the difference. Plus, you got a really nice clasp. You've got the ability to micro adjust. I mean, I've took out 2 small links. Usually on a full size bracelet, I take out 3 or 4, depending on how big the bracelet is, which is why I know the bracelet on these is just a touch too short. As I said earlier, I could benefit with 1 or 2 links, but it looks awesome on wrist. It wears so good. Definitely a skin diver you could wear all the time. It could definitely be a daily as well. Like there's other skin divers which I've appreciated, so like the Laurier, I really like the looks of it. However, the lug to lug just puts me off, and the way these lugs sort of turn in, and they've done this similar thing onto their 6.2 mass homage, which is why I like those cases so much. But yeah, that is subjective to wrist size. As I said, 6.5 inches wrist, this is absolutely bang on, and you know, it'll be bang on for wrist sizes much bigger as well. Now, to summarize, I had a look at all the orders and a lot of the reviews on the orders. So a lot of people reviewed this on AliExpress, and to be honest, you know, a lot of you guys should have your own channels because there was very in-depth reviews. Now, do I think they should change anything? Even though I pointed at the crown, I don't think they should change a damn thing. You know, somebody mentioned the crystal, but the main thing is the crown. The thing is, I do not want version 2s and 3s to this. I have had enough of version 1s, 2s and 3s. It really does spoil the watch for me. It devalues your previous one. You get dead stock. You know, you're kind of making things obsolete too soon. So if I've bought a V1 because I can't wait, and then within 2 weeks or within a month there's a V2, you know, I'm going to be a bit sour because now I want the V2, right? But then selling the V1, again, you've just obsoleted something which you don't need to. I think just live with it. Nothing is that bad. It is what it is, guys. Yeah, because I definitely think V2s and 3s really do spoil a watch, and it confuses the life out of me because I can't keep up, right? So let's stay away from that. I think it, you know, for what we have, it's brilliant. I don't want anything different, to be honest, you know, aside from the things that I mentioned, but that is just what they are. So that's it from me today, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section, and then I'll see you on the next video. Thank you guys for watching.